Morning all, welcome to National Road Rally 2023. I'm quite early, it's about 7:15. They haven't even put the number up yet, there's nobody else here. We're at Redditch for our start control. We finished here before at this location and the older location, the other side of Redditch. Now, a bit of trouble getting here because although I did find the way quite well this time, the road that I would usually use is closed. This year I'm doing a Chrome Award, which is the bottom award. A couple of reasons for that. First, it's mixing it up for me and I'm doing it on a bit different bike, which is why Johnny's here. And also, it shows that you don't have to ride for 2 days and doing 600 or 700 miles to do the top award. Now, all the controls we are visiting today are ones that we've been to before, and it's starting to rain. It's not supposed to rain at all. There you go. We are taking it easy. We're going to try and mix it up with the video a little bit, if at all possible, because in theory I've got a lot more time today. And hopefully it will be dry. As we've got a bit of time, I'll take you through the setup for Johnny and doing the rally this year. There's the front camera. It took me a while to work out how to fit that because it's been a while since I've put one on. I had to look at a photograph to see how I've done it. It's a bit vibey and there ain't that much image stabilisation, if any, with that old GoPro. But yeah, different vantage point. On the right here, the clock and the smart remote for the Hero 8. This is a suck-on mount parcel carrier, grid, whatever you want to call it, from Hitchcock's birthday or Christmas present some years ago. Bit awkward to fit, well, awkward's overstating it really. Because of the curve of it, it does touch the fuel cap underneath. So even though I've padded out the suckers with some Meccano washers, and we'll come on to more Meccano stuff in a bit, it still does just touch the petrol cap, so a bit of tape on it just to protect it. The little instructions direction holder is a mobile phone one, yet another thing just like my tank bag where the actual opening to get into the holder is smaller than the actual window, meaning you can't maximise the window really. So they're a little small but should do, held on with a bit of tape for the moment and some little twist wraps off cables. The reason for these things is so I can undo it and get at the flap to open it up easy, although it's quite a bit of play anyway, so I can swap my cards over. Right, moving back, we've got a small GorillaPod tripod because we're hoping to do some ride-bys as we go. Maybe, we'll see. And of course, if you've been looking on social media, my little box on the back. Didn't want to put the tank bag on the back, it's a bit messy. It was a bit awkward, but we've come up with this box made out of Meccano. Bit of useless information for you. Any plates, flexible plates with slotted holes like that are post 1954. Any ones without the slotted holes, like these plates here, these darker ones, they are pre-1954, post World War II. Some people have rather dissed my posts, not many but a couple have, about Meccano, calling it ticky-tacky. Well, that's Lego, folks. This is the good stuff. Although, granted, it can fall apart with vibrations because it's not really made for this, is it? But you can probably see, these are nylock nuts. They're all Meccano, but they are quite large compared to the standard ones, which is there. Now, these nuts and bolts are the later stuff from probably the 1990s, early 1990s or so, when they went to Allen-headed bolts. But because they're quite large, these nylock nuts, in certain areas, like in corners, you haven't got the room, such as there, to have all nylock nuts. For a bit of fun, how many nuts or bolts do you think will drop out? Around about 95% of the bolts and nuts are nylocks. So, how many will fall out? Answers at the end. That's the waterproof cover off the tank bag, which is 20 years old this year. It's in not quite tatters, but it's in poor condition. I've asked Oxford if they've got anything that's suitable, or even old stock, but no. So if anybody's got a waterproof cover for, I think it's called an Oxford Sport expandable tank bag from around 2003, a year or two either side of that, let me know. I could do with a new one. And of course here is George the Lancaster. Should have been on the Lincolnshire Biker Challenge scatter rally, but didn't, pardon the pun, land in time. The usual GoPro Hero 8 is on the helmet. Getting back to the rally though, some things are not as good perhaps to my mind as the pre-COVID format. The best example is the night section. One of the good things in a way was having it start anywhere. great, real good. The downside to that is that you may not get many people starting it in any one place. That said, it's very practical on the whole. We're not going to be doing the direct routes as usual. We've got our own little rules that we use. No motorways, but there's only really the M5 we could use a bit, but we're not. We're also not going to try and hit many, if at all possible, major, largish towns. Therefore, when we head down towards Stroud for Nailsworth, we're going to try and skip between Cheltenham and Gloucester. So, stage one, and as usual folks, it's not a race, these are just my separate little cards. I call them stages because, well, why not? Redditch to Worcester, I've got 9 AM start, it'll be after that. 20.1 miles, 41 minutes. It's a little fiddly, and I dare say there's going to be some up, down and turning rounds. Sorry, say that again. Now somebody leaving Redditch now. Good job we're not in a rush. We're 32 minutes late, just gone half 9. Plenty of yak, some of it about the rally, what we'd like, what we wouldn't like. We better make a start. The road that we want out of Redditch isn't blocked by the road closure. Next stop is Worcester, one that we used to finish at because it was the nearest to home when it was the pre-COVID format. See ya! The card holder's moving around already, but I've got some cable ties if I need it. Should be left at this island into Ipswich Street, I think it is. Well, we got one right. That's enough. And at the end, we've got to turn left. I said before I don't like checking the route too much, but I don't remember seeing this. Well, Hewell Road's just over there, and that's where the Redditch, well, the second Redditch Royal Enfield factory was, only about half a mile away. So we'll stick with our plan, we'll turn left here. Now this is interesting because there should have been an island by now. Okay, see, this is Bromsgrove Road. I want the Evesham Road. I knew Redditch would be my downfall. Right, I'm just going to get out the way and I'll pull up over here. Yeah, it all adds to the fun. Not too bad. Not too bad at all, to be honest. Down here. Well, I was looking for Mount Pleasant, but I never saw a thing. Ah well. We're looking for the B4504. As we've seen the sign, Hunt End, we will go past the site of the original factory, and we'll get back on track later. But the lack of road numbers is, well, it's not a surprise really. I've just got to remember which road it is, not this one. There ain't much left. If you think there's not much left of the Hewell Road site, there's even less left of this one. Now don't get too excited, will you, when you see what's left. Enfield Road. I usually come from the opposite direction. Mind you, I ain't been since Webley Mark II was new, and that's 4 years this September, I think. And here we are at the former first Royal Enfield factory site. All that remains is the wall.